Today, February 13th, is also the day before Valentine's Day, and it's a day to reflect and celebrate the concept of love. How do we want to make sense of this if we don't want to buy into the consumerism that goes around it, the privileging of romantic love over all other kinds of love, and while recognizing that many of us aren't in meaningful romantic relationships and might even have chosen not to be so. So we take time to expand how we think about love. And as we do so and we turn to our scriptures, we realize that there isn't a lot in our scriptures that are about romantic love, but there is a lot about love. Love of God, love of neighbor, love of self, love of stranger, and love of enemy. So tomorrow, as we mark Valentine's Day, let's reflect on all the forms of love that we're called to as an act of faith. And as we do so, I invite you to consider this small spiritual practice. First of all, find a nice piece of paper and a pen, and then take time to think about and write down the names of 6 to 12 people who make your heart feel full. You know that feeling of your heart feeling full, as if you're somehow larger, as if there's breath and warmth, as if there's a smile inside of you. It's a large number of people, 6, somewhere between half dozen and a dozen, and I invite you to think of that many because we want to, for any of us that live with other people, to be sure that we're expanding beyond those obvious names for our list. Include them as well, but reach a little further. And then keep that list near your bed, perhaps as a bookmark in the book you read just before falling asleep, perhaps propped up against your bedside lamp, or near your bathroom mirror, somewhere where you can take a moment before falling asleep each night. Look on those names and take a moment, eyes closed, a deep breath, to remember that feeling of love. One more small spiritual practice that you can try. This one might be a bit more of a challenge. Take a moment and think of someone who makes you angry, or that you don't particularly like or like at all. Might be personal, or it might be larger, political, or something else. And then take a couple of minutes. Once again, close your eyes, take a breath, and imagine that person surrounded by love. It's a hard call to love your enemy, and yet we hear this as one of the acts of faith, one of our spiritual practices.